Hello, I'm John Shepherd, and this is going to be another question and answer video where I answer some of the questions that you guys have sent in to me via my YouTube and also my Instagram accounts. First question was sent in by Psycho1, and this is about eccentric landings. He was watching the video on plyometrics, all about plyometrics, and he spotted an eccentric exercise. An eccentric exercise is a muscle lengthening one. So when you land from a jump, your muscles in your ankle, knee and hip go on stretch. So by training the muscles eccentrically, i.e. you land and stay in that position, you block, the muscles go on stretch, hopefully you're training in such a way that you'll be able to develop a greater concentric reaction, i.e. the spring, your muscles, stretches, that's the eccentric action, and then when you do go into a jump, the ping back, that's the concentric action. So we're hoping that by training eccentrically, you're also going to boost your concentric power, your overall power output. It's important to train all muscular actions, so concentric, muscular shortening, eccentric, muscle lengthening, and even isometric, where there's no movement between 2 points in the muscle, so it's a static action. In terms of eccentrics, 3 times 6 jumps, or landings I should say, from a platform of about 1 metre to 1.5 meters would be sufficient. In a future video I'll go into more detail about more ways to train eccentrically. Okay, the second question comes from Baller Rodney, and that was through Instagram, and it's about sprint start technique. Now I will say at the outset that I'm predominantly a long and triple jump coach, though of course I've had to coach the sprints over a number of years. The question related specifically to low heel movements and foot movements out of the blocks and the potential for the toe drag as the back foot leaves the block and is pulled through into the second stride. Baller Rodney sent me a couple of videos to look at, and from what I could see, the low heel recovery was far superior to when he wasn't doing that, in that he kept his feet lower to the ground, got a better 45-degree or so angle or block clearance, and also a better drive out of the blocks. I took a look at one of the world's largest resources of research on all subjects, not just sports and track and field, and couldn't find a single reference to starting technique and low heel recovery or toe dragging. However, I did find some research that somewhat vindicated the low heel recovery technique. The research in sports biomechanics indicated that keeping the toes up when you clear the blocks is going to produce a more effective start and enable more power to be placed down onto the track surface. Research also looked at the positioning of the foot under the sprinter's centre of mass as they were clearing the blocks, and it discovered that the further back the foot was to a degree under the centre of mass, the more positive and powerful the acceleration was. And this has been further backed up by research by one of the world's foremost authorities on biomechanics in track and field, Ralph Mann, who's indicated that smaller steps coming out of the blocks will result in a quicker block clearance. Attempting to move the legs as quickly as possible, but technically efficiently with a low heel recovery away from the blocks, can also create more force, in that the quicker a limb moves, the more force it's going to generate. Okay, the next question relates to triple jump, and I'm being asked quite a bit about the ratios between the hop, the step and the jump, i.e. how far should the hop be, how far should the step be, and how far should the jump be. In the recent World Indoor Championships, winner Will Clay hopped 5 meters 94, stepped 5 meters 65 and jumped 5 meters 64 for a total distance of 17 meters 43. On another number of jumps where he actually hopped not quite so far over 6 meters, but 603, 604 is that type of distance, his total distance wasn't so far. So it seems that the balance between the hop and the step is crucial when it comes to overall distance. Now there has been some research, quite a bit, that I found out about on the ratios and what's more effective. And some, or quite a lot actually, indicates that a hop dominant ratio, and that I have to say the hop shouldn't be massive, is going to produce a superior distance to a jump dominated model. Through my practical coaching, I think one of the biggest issues with the triple jump is the inability of many triple jumpers to actually hop long enough. And I'm actually talking here about those, not elites, not professionals, but guys in the 15-50, that type of range, who've got a good level of speed and a good level of power, but they don't actually maximize their hop, and they need to get the range. So the reason why people might have more of a jump dominated technique, particularly at the everyday level of the sport, for want of a better way of putting it, is because they're not actually maximizing or optimizing their hop. They're under hopping, but not perhaps in a way that they don't even know about it, because they don't create the range and the movement off of the board, the lengthening of the free leg under the body as the hopping leg comes into the front position. With Jonathan Ilori, who's recently jumped 16 meters 13, a big breakthrough with him was getting him to actually hop effectively, and that's enabled him then to get into the right position to create distance on the step. So my take-home message here would be to learn how to hop effectively, technically correctly. Triple jump is all about getting the rhythm of the event. Obviously you need the speed, the power and the technique, but you need to get that rhythm. And if you get that rhythm, the chances are the distance will come. In the heat of a competition, if you start to turn up the gas and running quicker, it's potentially the case that you could actually hop further than normal, and you may be able to control it. But going back to that phase ratio distances that I've got from the World Indoor Championships, it was evident that when Will Clay went for longer distances on the hop, his total distance was diminished. Now, of course, there's going to be some research and some distances achieved by various triple jumpers where they do jump further on the jump phase. If you look at some of Jonathan Edwards' performances, for example, you'll see a discrepancy between the length of the hop and the length of the jump in a broadly similar distance. But I think from our level of training and the athletes that we're working with, if you get the ratios right, you will achieve a better overall distance. And to reiterate again, particularly if you hop effectively. As usual, thanks for listening, and do subscribe to the channel and give this video a thumbs up if you like what you've seen and learnt. Also, do send in some questions either via the comment section below or via my Instagram account. And good luck with your training and your competitions.